Time to wake up. Lateness is greatness. We've been down in the dumps, understandably so. Tuchel gone, Potter into the unknown. Now it's time to turn the light on. Youth development, tactics. Combine them together potentially, and we may have the perfect storm, ladies and gentlemen.
It's time to return to my chair. No dressing gown, no shades. Just absolute mayhem. Welcome to the video. Yo people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for pot ball. 8-ball pool, Graham in the building, yeah? Another video, big up your damn selves, yeah? 5 coaching staff has joined from Brighton as well as the head of recruitment. Welcome to the chaos, welcome to calamity. Take your seats, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Chelsea. Insane, and now I'm looking forward to getting into tactically how this team could potentially function. Of course, there's no Premier League fixtures this weekend as well, due to the gracing period that has been given. The first game will be Salzburg next week, so a little bit of a Potter pre-season has been given, and by the grace of God, he needed it to implement his philosophy and tactics onto this team as soon as possible. So he'll be very much looking forward to working with that team in training. And I had a little concern that fixture, robust schedule, no time in between to really implement what he wants into this team was going to be a massive concern for me. But he's going to get that chance. So let's talk about how things could look. Now, Brighton are off to a great start this season. Taking a look at them, same points tally as they did last season at this stage as well, with 13 points. They've travelled against Manchester United. They've travelled to the West Hams. They've beaten the Leicesters convincingly, creating so many chances. Could have easily been 7-2 that game. Wonderful football on display and really, really technical team. Now, I saw them last season at the Amex Arena as well against Palace in the 1-1 draw. Conor Gallagher scored in the game again, played some really, really good football. And what is very paramount in his team is that despite the different variations of formations that we'll get into and show on your screen, he does try to play with the same ideals each and every time, of course, as well as being tactically flexible, like I said, with those different shapes that we have. Sometimes the 3-4-3, sometimes the 3-5-2. We've even seen the 4-4-2, which we'll get into as well. But when it comes down to him, brilliant coach. He's come up through the leagues in Sweden, won the Swedish Cup, and then of course got through the Europa League, played against Arsenal, was knocked out in that later stage in the knockouts, and of course as well Brighton has led them to their highest place finish last season. So very, very, very good coach. And in terms of the technical aspect, the guy knows what he's doing. It's all about in terms of dealing with those egos, those higher profile players, and all the extra bits of politics that come with managing a high level football club that demand to win. And of course his first appearances in the Champions League next week, never been in that competition before, so it's going to be very intrigued. But I am excited now. I'm getting excited. Now let's talk about it, because from Potter's point of view, POV, 3-5-2, 3-4-3, and obviously a little variation, sometimes 4-4-2. He wants to obviously still build out from the back, similar principles there. Sanchez, the ball playing goalkeeper on their side. Potentially, when managers move, they always try to snag a couple players as well. We've already taken Cucurella. Kepa, Mendy, both have their own limitations. Kepa, the better ball-playing goalkeeper. Mendy, the better goalkeeper from, the goalkeeping aspects in terms of shot stopping. Kepa has had a few issues with that before, but had some really good cameos under Tuchel when Mendy was away at the AFCON. I am very interested to see who he's going to pick. I think either player has an equal chance due to their own limitations and things that they bring to the team. Now, of course, Mendy is the first choice at the moment, but he isn't paid as much as Kepa is. He's still on that same contract when we signed him. He's obviously rejected the new one, and of course as well, he didn't cost as much in a transfer fee. So politically, it's anybody's guess who he's going to pick. But Kepa does suit it from a ball playing standpoint a lot more in terms of building out from the back. Defenders wise, you're looking at the Dunks and Websters. We've got our own technical defenders like Thiago Silva, the Fofanas, the Koulibalys should be easily adaptable. And like I said, whether you're playing that back four, Koulibaly's comfortable, Fofana is comfortable. If you're moving to that back three, they're already getting into it and starting to be coached into that already. So I think everybody should be pretty flexible in that back line to handle. Cucurella was played in a back three by Potter last season, as I mentioned when we signed him, and of course he's played at left wing back or left back as well in the 4-4-2. He's able to move across and make this a very seamless transition without having to make a substitution to that 4-4-2 if you have to. And then the Chilwells and potentially the wild card in Pulisic could play at left mid in the 4-4-2 or left wing back in the 3-5-2 or 3-4-3. And I think Pulisic, while I'll explain, you know, Chilwell crashes the box, scores the goals, wonderful, really has adapted and acclimatized to that role really well since joining, since Tuchel joined, and obviously Alonso started those first few games against the Wolves of this world. Pulisic can crash that box too from that left-hand side. He did it under Lampard, but it would just be a little bit of a different role, similar to Trossard, who's really got a couple of goals this season, is very direct and has been found with some brilliant last-ditch runs round the side, kind of acting as a ghost while the build-up play goes on with McAllister, with Pascal Gross, with Jolly Marsh. Then someone like a Trossard, Pulisic could drift in as a ghost around that back post. And you know those wing backs in any system, we saw it Conte, Tuchel, they get space. If you can make those switches of play quickly, whether that be a Trevor Chalobah or Reece James, if you make those switches of play, Ziyech, quickly, you can find people at the back post. Alonso was found many a time, Pulisic could be found too. And I think with his current confidence levels, to be compact and really congested in the middle of the pitch like this is central London and you ain't got a ticket, you need to get that man some space. And I think the perfect place could be at left wing or left midfield, left wing back, whatever it may be, coming in inverted off that side like he did for Lampard and trying to get those goals and crashing the box. Now, so that's how I see potentially Pulisic could get used. I think that could play to some of his strengths again if he gets his dribbling levels back to where it needs to be. I've mentioned McAllister, Caicedo, Pascal Gross, really good midfield, but there are other players that also move into there. Mikuempu as well has drifted in there. Whatever it may be, they try to dominate that midfield, and all those players there that I've mentioned are very technical, very versatile. They're able to take up positions high up the field. They're able to finish their chances. Pascal Gross getting the double at Old Trafford. McAllister, you can see, is a very technical Argentinian midfielder with a Scottish name, whacking in free kicks, long shots, penalties. And Caicedo has got a couple goals as well. I think he scored against Leicester. Point being is they're able to dominate midfield, take the ball, very technical, overload, which is what we should look to do with that diamond, that four, whether it be Jorginho or Kovacic at the base in possession, whether it be Mason Mount, hopefully a bit deeper now, getting involved in the build-up play like he did under Frank, a lot more progressive as an 8, whether it be a Loftus-Cheek, but also whether it be a Kante when he's fit, and also maybe a Sterling at the top of that diamond, somebody that is press resistant but can have the confidence to take the ball with their back to play and dribble past players and turn. But whoever it may be, that area of the field is going to be key, and I'm interested to see the different variations. Of course, Tuchel was using Gallagher a lot deeper. I wasn't a massive fan of it. I think Gallagher, if he is used under Potter, will be a lot higher up the pitch. Potter doesn't press with the same intensity as Tuchel does. That's shown statistically. He prefers to use the energy. They do press, but they tend to go in 1s or 2s in that forward line. If it's a 3-5-2, the 2 strikers will press. The rest, the midfield, the defence will sit in a mid to low block. And if they do bypass that press, if they don't force the team to kick long, then there will be a bank of 4-4 or bank of 4-3 or 5-3 behind those forwards, ready to then contest in duels for aerials or just to defend and actually win the ball back. Brighton don't always dominate possession. Of course, they're a mid-table team, so they have to be equipped for any scenario they face. But they always do look to play that good football, and they're very aggressive and quick, and they're more mechanical. I think for Chelsea, with these level of attackers that we have, Tuchel maybe was looking for more individual brilliance, some more creativity, some more, improvisation. Freedom was given. Like I said in my last video, tags around the ankles. I want to see, hopefully now, similar to Sarri and sometimes Pep, where it is a little bit, methodical in a way, but it is a little bit controlled, and you don't actually have the freedom to do whatever you want. You pick up certain positions, you know where your teammates are going to be, and everything is very conveyor belt. It's very bang, bang, bang. It's like a factory football, I call it. Every person has a part to play. There is a process to move through the field. It is a conveyor belt. It is a string of actions, and to move through the field as one. And that's something that Brighton do. They get numbers into the box. They move as one. Now, Chelsea, of course, we don't come up against as many high lines as they will. Of course, we come up against a lot more low blocks, so it'll be interesting to see how that translates. I think Potter will see Jorginho's mobility issues as well, and he'll see how many players he can throw forward. I think Mason Mount could be key in playing a little bit deeper. Mobility-wise, he can help cover for Jorginho. And I think as an 8, like I said, deeper with him facing the play, he could switch to play a lot more and be a little bit more progressive with his passing, but not have to give you that final third potential pass. Maybe the pre-assist Mason Mount could start to get involved in a lot more and actually start to just progress the ball quickly. Like I said, don't take too many touches. That's something he's good at, and then hopefully final third wise we start to see a bit better from those other players. Kai Havertz is going to be key. He's going to have to step up massively, but like I said, he should be able to take up those positions just behind the forwards of a Broja or an Aubameyang, who will run those channels. Danny Welbeck has been doing that for Potter a lot, running the channels, creating more space inside for those Sterlings and those Pulisic's to make those inverted runs like a Trossard would. And also, like I said, you've had so many players getting into the box for Brighton, whether it be Pascal Gross, whether it be Cancelo, all these guys, Casado, all these guys have been getting in the box and getting their goals. So I'm expecting contributions to come from midfield. But in terms of Potter, very flexible, like I said, variations of different formations, but very, very, very astute, and high detail is going to be the key here. A lot of attention to detail from him. So he needed this period to really work with the players. I'm intrigued to see where does this leave, you know, the Loftus-Cheeks of this world. Everybody's fighting for their place. I think everybody, you know, as soon as he goes into training, there's not going to be too much prejudgment, I don't think. Of course, you know, there's key players and there's players that sit at the top of the food chain and the pyramid that have to probably get their opportunities before some others, you know. But one thing we're seeing with Potter is he really does want to use youth as well. He brought in Levi Colwill on loan. He has Billy Gilmore, and obviously, ironically, now he's left, but he had Billy Gilmore. Tariq Lamptey was taken from us as well. He's very much looking to use youth and develop youth as well. And their scouting at Brighton has been impressive. And of course, he'll be highly involved in securing a technical or sporting director as well. And that's already been well reported, which is brilliant to hear. Alongside the head of recruitment. And of course, we just let go of our head scout. I call him Scott McTominay. The scout has left us as well on his own accord, which is brilliant news because some of the transfer decisions that were made have been absolutely atrocious. So I am looking forward to this. It's really, really going to be intriguing to see who he really gets the best out of. Ziyech could be pulling off to a right wing back role in a Marsh role on that right hand side, as is seen in some formations. Reece James, I wouldn't in a 3-5-2, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if Reece James potentially, the way that Potter likes to play, becomes a little bit more central in the right side of a 3 with Ziyech on the right. And of course, he's still going to be able to cross and overlap Ziyech and get further forward. But Ziyech will tuck in, kind of be that player that looks for those direct, you know, diagonal passes for those left wingers or those left wing backs in Trossard, but now Pulisic or Sterling or Chilwell. And that's something that Ziyech is meant to be doing, and he did in the first 25 minutes against Southampton. He was pinging those balls over there. Maybe he just needs the confidence. He was looking like he was mentally checked out. Hopefully he can check it back in. Check your bags back in, mate, all right? Because you're here at least until January. We need everybody pulling in the right direction. But Reece James is very comfortable in central areas. He's press resistant. Don't forget those little bits of skill that he used to show in his first few Chelsea games. In the cup game, I think against, I can't remember who it was against, maybe Nottingham Forest or something, but lovely little bits of skill. He's very confident in tight spaces and whatnot, but also, like I said, really good shot, good long distance shooter as well, and could just bring that extra bit from us centrally, where we need players now to start taking some shots. If the ball does arrive and there's anybody that I trust to have a good striking ball technique, it would be Reece James. We love the crosses for sure, and I'm sure the crosses will come in as well. But I think it's not just about crossing under Potter. It's about, like I said, a conveyor belt of actions, moving through the team, moving through the pitch as one, but also centrally, we need to start penetrating the opposition a lot more often than we do. Pause. Big up your damn selves. Make sure you subscribe. Much appreciated for all the support. Feeling good to be back. And like I said, let me know for you who you feel is going to thrive under Graham Potter. The training sessions begin. Pre-season Potter can commence. The season starts right now, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, and I'm looking forward to seeing who wins and who loses in these battles. But it all depends in these training sessions. They have to start putting their stamp. And players like Trevor Chalobah, young players that have wanted and are eager to impress. Broja, even a Chukwuemeka, we didn't speak about him too much. The doors are wide open for all of you to start getting involved, because he will play young players as well. He's not afraid to do it, and he's here for the long term. That 5-year contract, that £21 million buyout clause for him and his staff. Clearly the long term is being prioritised with the long term contracts that Todd Bowie is offering out to the Brojas and the Reece James, and next up probably Mason Mount. He's looking at the long term. Potter is a long term appointment, so I'm looking forward to seeing what youngsters are really going to take. advantage of their opportunities. Big up your damn selves. In a bit, people. Peace.